Hospitals, they're not the place for laughter, are they? But what if I told you that's not entirely true? Picture this. Bustling hallways, the constant beeping of monitors, and amidst it all, our protagonist, Dr. Jane Fitzcostellia. Jane, a maverick in the world of medicine, is the heart of this unexpected hospital. Saving lives is her 9 to 5, but she's also got something else up her sleeve, a wicked sense of humour. So, meet Jane. She's got the steady hands of a surgeon and the razor-sharp wit of a stand-up comedian. She's the kind of doctor who can crack a joke while cracking a chest open, metaphorically speaking, of course. Her humour, as infectious as the common cold, brings a much-needed dose of laughter into the sterile, clinical world of medicine. Now, don't get me wrong. Jane takes her job very seriously. After all, lives hang in the balance. But she believes that a hearty laugh could be just what the doctor ordered. She's seen firsthand how a well-timed joke can ease a patient's nerves, lighten the mood in the room, and sometimes even stimulate healing. She's a firm believer in the adage, laughter is the best medicine. But Jane's humour isn't just for her patients. It's also a balm for her colleagues, the hard-working doctors, nurses and staff who often find themselves in high-stress situations. Jane's quick wit keeps the morale up, the spirits high and the smiles wide. She's the one who reminds them that amidst the chaos and the crises, there's always room for a good laugh. And so, in this hospital, you'll find something quite extraordinary. Laughter echoing through the hallways, smiles replacing frowns, and a sense of camaraderie that binds everyone together. It's not just a hospital, it's a beacon of hope and humour. All thanks to our very own Dr. Jane Fitzcostellia. Now that you know Jane, let's head over to the hospital kitchen where something peculiar is about to happen. From the bustling kitchen of our unexpected hospital, we step into a culinary space that's unlike any other. Welcome to the Life-Saving Gourmet Club, a unique initiative started by none other than our very own Dr. Jane Fitzcostellia. This is where the hospital staff unwind, share recipes, and let out hearty laughs over delicious food. Don't let the name mislead you, though. This isn't your typical cooking club. There's no fees, no dress code, and certainly no strict rules. Except for one, leave your worries at the door. This is a sacred space, a sanctuary of sorts, where the staff to shed their stress, share a dish and replenish. The club is open to everyone, doctors, nurses, technicians, even the janitorial staff. Jane believes that good food knows no hierarchy, and neither does stress. Everyone needs a break, a moment to breathe, a moment to savour. And that's precisely what the Life-Saving Gourmet Club offers. Every day after their shifts, the staff gather here. Some share recipes they've tried, others anecdotes from their day, and some sit back and enjoy the meal. Today we're discussing a delightful recipe, Popadoms and sweet and savoury naan bread. A simple yet delicious side dish, perfect for sharing, but don't just take my word for it. Come, let's step inside and experience the magic of cooking ourselves. As we let our dough rest and our poppadoms cool, let's take a moment to introduce you to some more characters from our hospital family. Enter the eccentric Belle Pum family. Now remember, it's always Miss Belle Pum. She's as unique as her name and insists on the full formality. Miss Belle Pum's sister Hauve and her 3 children, Pole, Nuddles and Zoe, are regulars at our Life-Saving Laughter Club. Pole, the eldest, is as strong and silent as a polar bear. Nuddles, the youngest, is a golden bear of a girl, always ready with a hug or a helping hand. And then there's Zoe, the middle child made of candy floss. She's round, has short yellow hair in pigtails, and is as sweet as the Flossie she's made of. Hauve, their mother, also made of candy floss, is the perfect blend of sweetness and strength, just like her children. But it's not all sweetness and light in the world of the Pums. There's Horse McGorse, the goody two-shoes, who's always trying to outshine the Pums. To us, and especially to Miss Belle Pum, he's the arch-villain of our story, always trying to make out that we're mischievous and outrageous. And last, but definitely not the least, meet Interlude, the matriarch of the Pum family. She's so large, she needs to be rolled in through the door. Now don't let her size fool you. She's as light on her feet as a ballerina when it comes to her kitchen dance. Speaking of which, there was this one time when Interlude decided to make her famous berry pie for the club. She'd just rolled in the last of the dough when she slipped on a stray blueberry and sent the pie flying. The pie landed right on Horse McGorse's head, turning him into a berry unicorn. The sight was so hilarious we all burst into laughter, forgetting our worries for the day. And that, my friends, is what the Life-Saving Laughter Club is all about. Now let's get back to our Popadoms and Naan bread, shall we? Before we dive back into our culinary journey, let's take a detour into a tale that's bound to churn your stomach. One ordinary day at our life-saving laughter club, a man was being attended to in the corner of the room. He was having his stomach pumped, a rather unpleasant procedure that had him retching into a bin. The collected vomit was carefully stowed in a container, ready to be disposed of. However, due to an unfortunate mix-up, the container ended up on a trolley being wheeled around by an unsuspecting guest. Meanwhile, Miss Belle Pum was in the kitchen, cheerfully preparing a hearty soup for the patient's lunch. In the middle of her kitchen dance, she reached out for what she thought was a container of homemade broth. You can probably guess what happened next. Yes, the containers got swapped, and the unfortunate man's vomit ended up in the soup. The soup was served, and the reactions were immediate. One man, unable to stomach the unusual ingredient, vomited out the window, drenching unsuspecting visitors in the garden below. A young girl, after a single spoonful, heaved up her mother's throat. The soup swap disaster, as it came to be known, is a tale we tell with a shudder and a laugh, reminding us of the importance of labelling containers and the unpredictability of life at our hospital. Now let's cleanse our palates and return to our delightful Popadoms and Naan bread, shall we? Well, that was quite the culinary adventure. But as we cleaned up the dough remnants and put away our spices, something entirely unexpected happened next. Our hospital wasn't just filled with the scent of freshly cooked bread and sizzling Popadoms, but also with the distinct sound of hammers and drills. The maintenance workers were busy repairing a lift shaft right above the kitchen. Hard to believe, but the lift was still operating. Each trip carrying 39 passengers, but with a huge twist. It was missing its roof. As if this wasn't enough, an anonymous trickster decided to play a prank. They tiles from the lift shaft, causing what can only be described as a catastrophe. 7 unfortunate people who were enjoying their seaweed and rotten egg jam sandwiches lost there quite literally. With no roof on the lift, the result was a vomit shower, covering all 39 passengers below. This happened repeatedly, and soon over 1,000 people themselves are part of this vomit fiasco, leading to a mass sickness outbreak. Then the trickster was revealed. Horse McGorse! The outrage was palpable. People were so furious they were practically farting with anger. The chaos didn't stop there, though. An unsuspecting elderly woman ended up with a generous helping of pepper up her nose, leading to a sneezing fit right onto a cake. And this cake, with its new rotten egg and mouldy carrot frosting, was then served to a group of children. If you've guessed what happened next, you're right. More vomit. There was so much vomit, in fact, that it caused the floor to give way, leading to even more chaos. And amidst all this, a man was desperate for water to dampen the burn from a hot pepper, and in his desperation, resorted to drinking toilet water. The result? More vomiting. Miss Belle Pum was having a hectic day. While trying to refill the hot chocolate machine, she absent-mindedly placed her baby, Sans diapers, on top of the open machine. The baby, probably scared by all the commotion, ended up having a diarrhea episode right into the hot chocolate. This concoction was then accidentally served to 190 people. The smell was so overpowering it shattered the windows. The aftermath? You guessed it, more vomiting. It was a vomit fiesta. And in the middle of this chaos, poor Miss Belle Pum ended up with a flower pot stuck on her head. What a day. And with that, our day in the hospital comes to an end. It was definitely more than we bargained for. But remember, as we always say, food is best enjoyed with a hearty laugh. And boy, did we have plenty of those today. Stay tuned for more tales from our unconventional hospital family. Meet Miss Belle Pum, a character as peculiar as her name. She's our hospital's culinary genius, with a personality that's as vibrant as her dishes. But don't be fooled by her quiet demeanour in the kitchen. Miss Belle Pum is the heartbeat of our chaotic hospital family. Enter Hauve, Miss Belle Pum's round candy floss-like sister. Hauve is the mother of 3 equally eccentric children, each a unique flavour in our hospital's melting pot. First, there's Pole, the eldest. He's as strong and sturdy as a male polar bear, and just as protective of his 2 younger sisters. In the middle, we have Zoe, who is quite literally a ball of sunshine. She's round, made of candy floss like her mother, and has short yellow hair tied in pigtails. Zoe is the sweet tooth of the family, always leaving a trail of sugar wherever she goes. And last, but definitely not least, is Nuddles, the youngest of the lot. She's a golden bear with a heart of gold, always ready to lend a paw to any hospital staff in need. Now every family has its quirks, and the Belpum family is no exception. Miss Belpum, and Halve's mother, Kirtle Lou, is a woman of grand proportions. She's so round that she needs to be rolled through doorways. But mind you, her size is only matched by her enormous heart and infectious laughter. But no story is complete without a villain, is it? Enter Horse Magorse, Miss Belpum's arch-nemesis. In his eyes, we're a bunch of mischievous, outrageous folks. He's always playing the goody two-shoes, trying to paint us as the baddies. But we know better, don't we? And speaking of knowing better, there's a hilarious incident we simply must share. Picture this. Miss Belpum, innocently preparing lunch for our patients, ends up using an unusual ingredient. A mix-up leads to a container of vomit. Yes, you heard that right. Being wheeled into the kitchen. And the rest, as they say, is history. But we'll save the details of that uproarious episode for later. Now that you're familiar with our cast of characters, let's dive into a hilarious incident. Remember when we said hospitals can be funny? Well, here's why. Picture this. A bustling hospital kitchen, the air thick with the aroma of freshly baked Popadoms and sweet and savoury Naan bread. Our heroine, Jane Fitzcostellia, the lead doctor, is busy saving lives elsewhere, leaving the kitchen in the capable hands of the good-natured Miss Belpum. In the midst of this culinary chaos, a man, who we'll call Mr. X for now, is having his stomach pumped. Meanwhile, his unfortunate lunch is being neatly deposited into a container. Now, under normal circumstances, this container would be discarded, and that would be the end of that. But, as we all know, in the world of Fitzcostellia and friends, normalcy is overrated. Unbeknownst to Miss Belpum, our unknown guest wheels in the ill-fated trolley, and the container of stomach contents finds itself mistaken for a pot of fresh ingredients. As the soup bubbles away, a peculiar aroma fills the kitchen. But Miss Belpum, ever the optimist, shrugs it off as a new fusion experiment. The soup is served, and one man, clearly not a fan of the new recipe, promptly returns his lunch out the window, giving the unsuspecting garden-goers below an unexpected shower. Meanwhile, a young girl, overcome by the unique flavour profile, offers her mother a taste, in reverse. And so, the day that started with Popadoms and Naan bread ended with vomit soup and a garden full of surprised patients. In the end, it wasn't the usual hospital drama of life and death, but a culinary catastrophe that stole the show. This is the stuff of legend, folks. The kind of story that gets passed down through generations. A tale of mistaken identity, a soup of epic proportions, and a day when a hospital kitchen became the stage for one of the greatest culinary blunders of all time. And that, my friends, is how a simple mix-up turned an ordinary day into an extraordinary one. After the soup incident, things were never the same in our hospital. The kitchen was suddenly the hottest gossip spot, with whispers of the great vomit soup mishap echoing around the corridors. Patients started ordering sandwiches, wary of any soup on the menu. Even the staff cafeteria saw a sharp decline in soup consumption. Our lead doctor, Jane Fitzcostellia, had to host an impromptu soup therapy session to soothe some of the more traumatized staff members. And believe it or not, the incident had a silver lining. It brought everyone closer together, knitting a tapestry of shared stories and laughter. Ms. Belpum, in her typical fashion, took it all in stride. She became the unofficial soup specialist, vowing never to let a soup mix-up happen again. The hospital, in its unique way, returned to normal, or as normal as a place with a candy floss family and a villainous horse can be. So there you have it, a day in the life of our quirky hospital where laughter is just as important as saving lives.